Well, we've finished the bulk of this off season to this point with on a really high note. We had great work consistently throughout, leadership and energy, and the learning that took place stood out. I mean, they all stood out, and so we've come a long ways. And I'm really fired up where we've arrived, knowing that the biggest part of this offseason really is this next 6 weeks that come up for our guys getting in shape, coming back to camp. We know that if you're in great shape, you have your best chance to stay healthy. And so for our individual guys and for our team, we want our guys to be there and be able to answer the call and stand up to the work. And that means they've got to run like crazy and really get in great shape, so they've adapted their bodies, and they'll come back at their strongest, fastest weight. To us, this is the biggest off season of our life, and there's only one way to look. It's the only one we got. So hopefully the message is clear, and I know, just judging from the mentality of these guys that are here with us, there's no question how they're going to do it. So where in years past, I would tell you that I was kind of worried about these 6 weeks, more so than what I've seen in the last couple of years of our guys responding and coming to camp ready to go. And I think they're going to do the same, but we need to do better. And so that's what the challenge is that's been posed to these guys. And so we'll count on that happening and look forward to that time when it arrives.
What do you make of DK not showing up?
Decision that he had to make, and we missed him. He had done a nice job and contributing, being part of everything that we had done, and then he's not here. So I can't say much for what he hasn't done here, but we'd love to have him with us.
Can you say where our negotiations going on with?
There's been conversations, some, and we're in a pretty kind of a standard, kind of semi-quiet right now, knowing the camp's coming up. These are crucial weeks to get something done. We'll see what happens, and hope that we can work something out. We really intend to get that done.
What's the latest you can tell us on Chris Carson's status?
That we're waiting for. There's kind of a big assessment to be done. It's about 2 weeks from now. From the docs and the surgeon and all that, they'll reconvene and see where he is and let us know.
You had said, I think, the last time you spoke to us, that you were going to learn more in the coming days. What have you learned about it?
Well, that it isn't the decision. We could have made the decision that he was ready to go. That could have happened. That didn't happen. So now we're into the next phase of it. We'll see what happens here. Just hold out a good hope, because he's worked really hard and he really wants to come back and all of that. But I can't tell you anything for certain now at this point. And so the fact that we could have known, because given us green light, here we go, that didn't happen.
Is he rehabbing here?
No.
So does that mean he wasn't worthy? I mean, wasn't deemed ready to be green lighted, or what?
Exactly.
Okay.
Were you surprised by DK's decision?
I had hoped that he might come in, and because he was still in a rehab phase, that he wouldn't be able to do all of the work, that he would have been here, would have been good for us. And so, unfortunately, he wasn't here.
Did he communicate that he didn't show up because of the contract? Is that right?
We've been communicating on that topic, yeah. Yeah.
So Chris's absence is excused then?
Yes.
You mentioned leadership and energy. It seems like he's already drugs. What is he showing this off?
Yeah, he's just stepped to the front, and realized the opportunity is here and we need him, and he's the play caller, and that, along with that, just has, traditionally has been that role, and he senses it, and he's done a marvelous job, not with what he says, but with what he does and how he approaches his work. He's worked every day, giving you everything he's got every step of the way. I mean, he's been a beautiful leader in that regard, and couldn't ask for more.
What did you learn from 11 on 11 today?
Well, we've been doing this. We've been doing yeah, you guys haven't seen it. We've been doing this every day. So we just extended today. We made it a full game, kind of a mode, so that we would get a lot of situations, including the kicking game, field position changes with automatic punts and stuff like that, just to put us more so completely into the mode. We had a couple good 2-minute situations that were there, and all of the other ones that came along with it. So it worked out great. We've in this camp, I wanted us to be in a performance mode more than a practice mode, and so we were taking all of the stuff that we had learned up until now and took it to the field to apply and show what you know, where we are, so that we could get a great gauge on it. And the guys did a wonderful job. And really, we've been doing situations. It's really been the theme of this entire off-season is situation work. And so the play callers were calling plays throughout, and all of the adjustments on the field went in with normal time frames with the clock and all of that. And I thought from the offensive side, the quarterbacks really, they were in control and command of it. On the defensive side, we were able to do a ton of stuff. So we've made a lot of progress. I think it forced us, to be in the situation kind of theme throughout. It's forced us to find out if our guys are clear thinking, if they're comfortable, do they understand how to apply the calls to the situations, and it worked out great.
How different is it from the last couple of years where maybe that rookie class was behind the 8 ball with COVID stuff, and now you don't have to deal with kind of those lag times or sending them out on their own?
I can't even compare where these guys are now to when they would have come to us and have never been on the field but a couple days. They've had a lot of work, a lot of good quality work too. I'm talking about the rookies now and the young guys, the first time guys here. This is kind of where we're supposed to be at this time of year, and we have not been there in years past, in the last couple. And it's fun to get out here. These guys had a blast. I mean, they had fun doing it. They liked the work. They came with a great attitude every day, and really, this was not difficult on them. We had some of our older guys, opted to buy some time between coming back and when they got here. What they showed when they got here, they've been studying, they've been in all the meetings, they've been collaborating with their coaches and their teammates to know what's going on. We didn't even skip a beat. And so the great work that Quandre and Jamal got, Big Al and Shelby and Q Jeff up front, those guys, they didn't skip a beat. And so it was really, it worked out great.
What's your assessment of the two quarterbacks right now?
Man, they've been impressive. They've been really impressive, and it's not been any one sequence here or one day here. They have just been solid throughout. We've shared a ton of reps. Gino's gone with the first group throughout, but they've had very close to equal reps in situational opportunities throughout. They really have been very impressive, and so I can't tell you anything other than that they've done a terrific job so far. They look in control. Gino's still ahead, you can tell that, but it's not going to be too much for Drew to be caught up by the time we get through camp. He'll be there. He's really bright. It makes sense to him. He's really sharp in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage and all of that. So it's just time that he needs, and there's nothing we can do but just gain some more of that. So the competition is in great shape, and you can tell that Gino's been here. You can feel that, and he's taken full advantage of that, and it's good for us. We didn't hesitate to do anything. We can do everything we've done in years past. So we're off and flying. Here we go.
What are you learning about Drew?
He's really competitive. He's got all kinds of plays in him. Really a natural athlete, natural thrower, natural movement guy. Had his best day yesterday on the move. He had some big scramble plays that he hit. It was great to see. We've seen it on film, so it's just nice to get it validated here, and there'll just be tons and tons more. So this is not too big for him. He's ready for it. He's primed up, ready. Has learned a lot in the years past, and he seeks this kind of support, and he's getting it. That we're showing him that we believe in him as a player, and we believe that he can get it done, get the job done, and now we just got to play the thing out. I don't know that he always felt like that, and he's responded really well, and the coaches are really thrilled about it. So we're in good shape at the position, and we just got to see what happens. And the games are going to be important, and everything will be important. This is just wearing T-shirts and stuff, out here. So it's not the real deal. However, we can see all of the mental side of it come to light, and we have no reason to restrict our thoughts in any way at this point.
Is Gabe Jackson just resting, or he's dealing with something?
He's still coming back from a knee that he got fixed up in the offseason.
Quarterbacks, obviously it's to be expected, they're professionals, but with how well they get along, how difficult is it though? We kind of look past it because they are professionals, we expect, but how difficult is it to have that camaraderie vet out there when you are competing for one of just...
Well, there is a place that you got to get to, and mentally to deal with this as well as you can. These guys are doing it. They're showing you. I understand. I didn't see the interviews yesterday, but I know that that they both spoke clearly to you guys, and you could feel them, and you can tell where they're coming from, and from what I've heard. And so we just go to the next step, and it's going to be a real battle. It's going to be really an exciting time, for our team and for those guys in particular, and for our people watching, I'm pumped about it. I really am.
Are you going to alternate them with the ones
You'll see.
and in the games as well?
You'll see. I'm not telling you that.
What would you have to show you to get to training camp that you haven't seen so far in order to make up for whatever gap there is, as you said, with Gino being
Really, we just have to watch him play. We got to watch him play, and we'll create as many, like all the situations we've been doing. With that thought in mind, let's put these guys where they have to make decisions, and they have to use the clock, and they have to use the field, and they've got to use the sticks and all of the stuff that's happening, and scores. We had the score going the whole time today, and all of that. We just need to accumulate all the information and see what happens, so we'll try to create it in practice, and the games will be important.
We talked yesterday about the tight end group. You said it was a special group.
Yeah,
How
it's a
do you feel
good
about
group.
the depth there with guys like Cade Brewer's had some nice catches?
Yeah, well, Kate had a big day yesterday in particular. We were celebrating him yesterday. Will is an all-around guy. We can count on him to do everything. And Noah probably had one of the, maybe the most spectacular camp of anybody. I just thought he made plays throughout the whole time, down the field, short area stuff. Understanding the scheme, all of he just adapted so beautifully. I didn't know, I didn't know him other than through the, the draft process, but he handled himself just impeccably. But maybe the guy that's most exciting is Colby. Colby Parkinson really became a go-to guy, and he's got that tremendous frame and catching range. He runs really well. He's worked so diligently to build himself up and to gain his power and control of his body that he's going to come off the ball and be an effective blocker too. So the position is really strong, and they've got some particular strengths, but yet they're versatile too. So we've got a lot of flexibility with these guys, and they're going to be a big part of what we're doing.
What's going on with Diaz?
Well, he had a hamstring thing that just nagged him, and so he just couldn't get through it, and he did fantastic when he was out here, but unfortunately, again, he's accumulated a lot of days where he wasn't out here, and so just feeling for him because he's dying to get out, and he does stuff every day. He's explosive. He's learned the offense. He's flexible in the things that he can do, and we just got to get him out here. So it's been hard, and I feel for him because I know it's killing him.
With the exception of maybe Chris, is there anybody you're not expecting to be ready by the start of camp in July at this point?
We'll have to see how Trey Brown is. Trey Brown's still coming back. Also, Marquise Blair, that we got to make sure. I don't know. It's going to be a race. He thinks he's going to make it, but it'll be a race against the clock a little bit there, and we'll see how it goes. He's coming back from the bilateral abdominal surgery. God, that sounded like I knew what I was talking about. You say bilateral and you sound smart. But he'll be close, and that's a guy that we're not talking about much. You guys haven't asked much about, but. We have the highest of hopes for him to contribute at the safety position in the nickel and dime situations as well, and as he has in the past. We just got to keep him out there, So, a few of these guys got to get over the hump on this injury thing, and they got to stay, and so that they can show who they are and what they are. They're chomping at the bit. Their attitude is great, and it's just got to wish them good luck.
Bo Melton and Derek Young.
Those guys should both be fine. They just had some tightness that we had to keep from being hamstring pulls, but both of them from the workload, and that really, to me, that tells you they weren't in good enough shape, and because they came out flying and did really well when they had their chance, and then by the second week, it seemed like it started to catch up, and they just got susceptible to what happens. It's just that soreness that is the onset of a pull coming. So we're real careful with them to not let that happen. But both those guys did a nice job now, and they're both totally different, unique players, but they were impressive.
Ken Walker, we see him a lot.
Yeah, hammy thing, same kind of deal. Really, it's the same category, where he felt some tightness, and we slowed him down, and he just couldn't get through it, so we just had to hold him out. He looked great. He really did. He's really fast. He's really he's got an attitude about him. He's nasty and physical, and wants to show that and be that. Beautiful, addition to our group, and we saw him on a number of occasions getting the ball out of the backfield, and then a couple balls that he broke where you could really see the burst. He's a big play guy. So, at this point, when we're looking at he and Rashad, those two guys is the potential 1-2 kind of punch until Chris gets cleared. It's pretty exciting, and not to miss too that Travis Homer looked good too. He looked really fast out here, and he's in really good shape. Made it through the whole thing, did great. So the position looks in good hands, and we're excited about it. It looks very explosive.
With the rookie group as a whole, how do you feel like they're acclimating? What's your message been to them?
Yeah, you guys haven't even asked about the tackles. Let's talk about those guys too. I think that the obvious thing first off, the first impressions that were made, that the guys all look like they fit. They all look like they have a chance. I'm talking about all the guys across the board, Maffei and Tariq Smith. They all looked like they could do something. Quillen, a few of the guys got banged up. I think the theme is that it was hard because the two pass receivers and the running back wind up being banged up. So we don't get to finish the whole thing with them. So that's disappointing. But as we looked at the draft and we saw the opportunities, we saw the numbers of the draft, we had hoped that it could come out like it did, and it did. And so the tackles, to nail both those guys have a chance to play. And they're competing. They'll be competing to start when they come back to camp. If they hold their own and they make the right progress, they have a chance to start for us. And which is huge. That would be huge. I don't know that they will, but they've got a chance, and they give us every indication that they have what it takes to do that to this point. The running back's going to help. The two rushers we're going to see. I'm really holding out hope that Maffei is going to really have a chance to help us. He's really talented. He's the closest looking fit to Cliff Averill that we've seen. The explosion and the flexibility, the bend that he has. And Cliff had a great career for us and in the league, and if he can get anywhere near that, it would be a great plus for us. It looks like he's got the chance to be that kind of a player. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully he's going to work with Cliff in this offseason too. That will help. So the tackles did a nice job. The rushers give us hope. But Kobe Bryant made a ton of plays out here. He's a football player, natural playmaker. He's got great hands. He might catch the ball as well as anybody on the team. He's got terrific hands, and you can see that adds to a guy's confidence when they're faced with the opportunity to make plays. He's one of those guys. That's why he was recognized around the country. He's a big-time player. He did a nice job. Probably the flashiest guy was Tariq Quillen. He was the flashiest in camp. He missed some early time. But once he got out here, shoot, you couldn't miss him out there because he's long and tall, and he's really fast. He's fast. And the style of play, we would style him like you would have seen, Brandon Browner, and he's 6'4", and so they'll look similar. He's got a step on Brandon, or 4. No offense, BB, but. He made a really good impression here, and he had some really good opportunities to go in against Marquise Brown, and the fastest guy you can find. He's 4.2s, and they were battling, man. They were battling out here, so that was really encouraging and exciting to see. So. We're really jacked about the class. These guys should help us. We've got to do a really good job of forcing them to the action, and force them in there so that they show us how far they've come and what they can handle. So they're going to be really utilized and called on, and they're going to have to, no mas on us almost, by the time we get through camp. So, and they won't do that. So it's going to be really fun to see how they contribute.
Speaking of Tariq, yesterday I think he covered Freddie Swain 40 yards on a go ball off the sideline, and then came back the next snap, and the same thing with Goodwin was right there snapped.
I said Marquise Brown. Did I say that? Yeah, I'm sorry, Marquise Goodwin. My bad.
Like you said, to not only do that on 2 snaps in a row, but then go cover Marquise Goodwin the second time, as it kind of showed.
Yeah, and then he flipped the other side, and he was on the other side, and he had another one. It was an impressive showing, and our guys noticed it. And our guys meaning the players. They could tell, and so we'll see what happens. He ain't done nothing yet, but there's a lot of potential there, and it's fun to see.
With Chris Carson, we haven't talked to him, I think, since before the injury. What can you tell us about where his head is at in the process?
Yeah, we visited. It's about 10 days ago now. Here, and had a real good chance to hang out with him and feel him, and he's concerned because he wants to play, and he loves the game, and he's a worker. He wants to work and push and all that. And there's some things that he was still a little bit restrained to do, so he wasn't quite ready to do everything at that time, and it's just hard on him, I mean, this is our guys love this game that they grow up playing, and when they sense that there may be an end to it, it's hard, it's difficult, and it's real, and we're going to love them through it and help them as much as possible if that's the case, like we do with everybody when it comes to the end of it. It's inevitable, it's coming, but it's always too soon, so we're trying to fight that off, and he knows that. He's battling, he's doing everything he can, and he wants to compete all the way to the last word, and so he's going for it, and he's been one of my favorite Seahawks ever, and loved what he stood for and what he brought, and we'd love to have him back again. He's a very special player and a very special competitor on your team and person, so we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Is it a quality of life
Take it,
issue?
Army.
Is he still having pain, or is it a quality of life issue? Or what? You said there's some limitations.
Yeah, he still doesn't have full range in a couple areas of things that he's got, and he's right at the cusp of getting there. And the time is on him now. Can he beat the clock here a little bit? So he's close. He's really close, and he knows that. And so he's frustrated that he couldn't show it this time around, but he knows, okay, here's our next loop, and so he's going for it, just like our guys know how to do, and we're all pulling for him.
With Metcalf, are you any less optimistic you get a deal done?
No, I'm not less optimistic. No, we've been through this for years, and we know it's a challenging time, and we've had so many high-profile guys that have gone through this process, and how's that worked out for us? We figured it out in time, and so Johnny, is on it. He's as experienced as you can get at handling this stuff, and DK's got great representation, and DK is a heck of a kid, but there's no way of avoiding the first time of this, the first time and what it feels like and the experience of it and all of that. And there's so many classic, examples of how guys have dealt with it and handled it, and our guys got to figure it out, and it's unfortunate that nobody ever learns from the guy before him. It's all brand new. It's like first time again. It's like 50 first dates kind of thing. You got to go through it. And so that's just what it is. And our guys have to too. We have to go through it again and start all over fresh, knowing that it's brand new for and for us and a kid like. Like DK, and he's a remarkable person. He's a wonderful player. He has so much to offer the world, and I just don't want him to miss this opportunity, and where we can't figure it out. So we'll do everything we can.
Are you intending to fine him, or bygones be bygones?
We never talk about that.
What is the format of what you're doing next week?
Next week is a passing camp, and that's for guys to take advantage of their last chance to work out with us. So there'll be, I think a lot of young guys will hang around. It'll be totally geared for their workouts, and to give them the best chance to get the best workouts they could possibly get. It won't be in this kind of mode at all. We won't be meeting football meetings with the guys. It'll be all about working out, and to try to kick-start their 6 weeks and really get them going is what we're hoping to. And the quarterbacks want to be here to throw and take advantage of that, so they're calling on their guys to show up and get as much as they can out of that.
Ryan Neal the past couple of days?
Yeah, he had a personal thing he had to deal with. He was excused and all that.
The coaches that you have as part of the Bill Walsh Fellowship this year, what do you hope they get out of this experience?
Well, I hope they gain a lot. Akeem and Amanda, they get thrown right in, and Johnny, they get thrown right in the middle of our stuff, and they just got to latch on and go with us. We throw jobs and assignments and things at them, and it's not like we just kind of nudge them along. We want to kind of throw them into it, and I. I have the responsibility in the back of my mind, but I want them to see us. I want them to know what it's like to be here. I want them to know what our expectations and standards are all about, so that they can take that with them as they move ahead. Whether they can stay with us or they come back to us. We've had all of that, or they take it somewhere else. And I hope it's different and better than they've ever seen it and will ever see it. We're trying to make it special for them, and because I love coaches, and I'd love to help them in some way, find what they have to offer this world of football and all, and their world. So it's really important, and we treat them with total respect. They're like the rest of us, and the rest of the coaches, and our coaches do a great job of just diving in with them, and we give them a lot of love, because I don't want them. wondering where they fit and all that kind of stuff. We got to get them into it as soon as we can because the time is short and it goes fast, and all that. So it's a marvelous time. It's a marvelous program, and over the years we hired a lot of guys from internship approaches to us, and I've always believed in growing our coaches, and so we don't treat this experience lightly because this may be somebody's on our staff down the road, and it's always been something that we've taken very seriously.
You talked about the next 6 weeks is physically important for these guys. What's the mental message like for the rookies between now and training camp?
Yeah, right now it's about conditioning. They've got to get in great shape. I'm going to tell you, this might be the fastest team we've ever had. Well, this team can fly, and I want that to be a strength that shows up because we're all there and we're all running fast all summertime. So I told every position I want them at their fastest, strongest weight. I don't care about the big numbers. I want them to be fast and strong, and that means basically they're going to be lean for their makeup. And so I want everybody running, and so. That's the message. The whole point is like I said earlier, we've got to get them adapted condition-wise so that the workload that we put on them doesn't tax them to the point where they get sore and aggravated. They've got to get through the movements and the speed and the demands and the workload that they're demanded. That's demanded of them to hang with our guys. Look at the young kids that come in here. Were they in good enough shape to hang? Yeah. No, and we didn't have. We only could do what we could do. We didn't have enough time with them. They're coming off the draft season and all that. The guys don't get in good enough shape, and they need all of the work that they can. We work to adapt them, but doggone it if it didn't. A couple of guys got them again. So that's the idea: is to make that impression on them and to make sure that they're communicating with our players, our other players that know and have done and been through it before, so that they can get ready for it. And we encourage them to work out with our guys and get together periodically throughout the time frame, so that they can get a sense for where other guys are, and hopefully all of that adds up to where they come in here and they're ready to fly, and we can't wear them out. And so we can take off and not look back as we go through camp, and they can have the best chance to show what they're capable of doing by not sitting on a bench.
Comp at right tackle now. Stone's in there now with Jake and Abe.
Stone's in there, yeah. Stone's really improved a ton. There's no, you can't tell right now. Those guys all did a nice job. They're a little bit different, but Stone is really he's become better. He's physically better than he was as he came here. He's stronger. He's more flexible, and he can play both sides. But yeah, he's in it.
Will Ben Burke-Irvin be ready for training camp? Or?
I don't know that. BBK's working it. He's done a remarkable job to overcome what he's overcome. He's not quite there yet, but he's shooting for it.
Was there something more than just the injury he had in the game? Or?
He's going to get a little work done here this week coming up to clean up something, kind of a little scar tissue type of thing, and that will give him a little bit more flexibility, a little more freedom of movement that he hasn't quite been able to feel yet. So until we see how that goes, we won't know. So it's going to be hard for him to be ready to go day one, but I know in his mind that's what he's shooting for. So we'll see how it goes. Johnny's working hard. I don't know how that's going to go yet. The 6 weeks will be really important for him. The expectations would be that it's he might need a little more time, So we'll see how he goes.
Spring Artie had.
Well, Artie did a good job. Artie did a really nice job. We really jumped in with Artie in our press stuff, and Artie's really fast. He's really long. He's got a nice feel for it, and he jumped in. He played with the first group most of camp and did a nice job. Real positive about him. Really, Sydney had a nice camp too. These guys don't get to compete. They can't make plays on the ball. That we can't do that. So you have to use your imagination. Could he have made that play and all that? But Sydney was real active in both, and he and Artie were. And they played a little bit different style. And I was fired up about Artie. I didn't realize he would look that good that early, and so he's taking to our stuff.
Stan Harris played here for 30+ seasons. You spent 12 years. What's the man?
Yeah, Dr. Stan been here a lot longer than the rest of us, and he is, he's just been a stellar part of the community, and all of the brain stuff that he's worked at, and being the great authority that he's been to people all over the world, and he's renowned. So the fact that he's stepping down, we're always going to miss him, but his impact will always be felt. I'm glad you reminded me about. We have a couple other people too. Jill Quinn in front of the office. You all know Jill. She's an amazing personality and part of our group. She's retiring, and she had a little party last night, and she was the life of the party, as you would imagine. But we'll miss her. Also, Mac McNabb, who's been here for years and years and years, has fed championship teams for years around here and has been everybody's favorite for the longest time. He today is his day too that he's retiring. We'll miss the heck out of him. He'll still be around. I know he won't be able to stay away, but a beautiful soul and you know, when you feed people, you know, for that many years, you get to know him, and he has had a big role here, and his son Stu has taken over for him and done a great job as well in carrying on kind of the McNabb spirit, and but we'll miss Mac for sure. So, and also I'm losing my guy. I'm losing Chad Sensabaugh. He's going back into business back in the Midwest. That he's got to take an opportunity for the family and all of that. He's been my guy that I throw to all the time. So I don't know who's going to catch the ball. It's just going to hit the wall, I guess. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm working on my understudy right now. So I'm not done yet, in case you were wondering, Greg. But I won't have Chad to do it. And he's been a marvelous partner in doing this and running so much of what we do. Keep me out of trouble. So we'll miss those guys.
The Trailblazer sale has been in the news, and the Paul Allen Trust. Have you gotten any assurances from Jody Allen or anything about where that stands?
Well, my group that has come together with some numbers. Everybody's got a group now, you know. They got their yeah. What was the question?
Have you got any assurances from Jody Allen the team's not for sale or what its future is?
She's never entertained that thought at all. I haven't heard her say that at all. I'm talking about our club, you know, and so I don't know anything about the Trailblazers. Fun to watch.
Going back to Stan, that was ahead of your stuff. You guys could take that really seriously. He was maybe ahead of the curve by a lot.
Been ahead?
What has he done for player safety?
Well, really being one of the guys at the cutting edge of the awareness of what, you know, the impact of it. You know, he has been a voice when a lot of people didn't want to listen or didn't hear it. You know, he's been shouting. You know, I don't know if anybody could be more of an advocate than our football and the way we've done our stuff. And we've always dealt with Stan and his guys, you know, how they think and how they, you know, how they teach us, you know, what we should understand and how we should appreciate the urgency and the sense of seriousness about it, and that's what we've done. And he's been part of all of that, you know. So it wouldn't have been the same without him.
Anything else? Thank you.
Okay, that's the longest one ever.